President Muhammadu Buhari is in Dakar, Senegal, where he is attending the swearing of the Senegalese president Macky Sall for a second term in office.
To see what is happening, and it appears to be a departure from what we had in mind.
INEC begins collation of Rivers governorship election results.
It is expected that those funds owned by Nigerians that are not in the system will be voluntarily declared by the owners.
And the federal government unveils voluntary offshore assets regularization scheme to encourage voluntary declaration of offshore assets and tax. Security agencies reinforce presence on Kaduna-Abuja highway for robust security patrol. Good evening and welcome to the news at 9 on the Network News Service of the Nigerian Television Authority, NTA. I am Muhammad Kudu Abubakar in Abuja. Michael Olale joins me tonight from Lagos, while Caleb Gochin is in Jos. President Muhammadu Buhari, President Macky Sall of the Republic of Senegal, has formally begun his second 5-year term in office. This followed his inauguration at a colorful ceremony held at the outskirts of the Senegalese capital, Dakar, witnessed by President Muhammadu Buhari and other world leaders. President Buhari is expected back to the country tonight. Meanwhile, German Chancellor Angela Merkel has called President Muhammadu Buhari to congratulate him on the resounding victory in the February 23rd presidential election in Nigeria. A statement signed by the presidential advisor, media and publicity, Femi Adesina, says Chancellor Merkel pledged to continue cooperating with Nigeria on the peace and security while promoting investment and trade for sustainable economic development. President Buhari commended the German Chancellor for her spirited efforts in combating irregular migration on the continent, lauding the policy of assisting immigrants in need. Progress is being made on the conclusion of the electoral process in Rivers State. 3 weeks after the conduct of the elections, Onenge Finefest has an update on the collation at the end of the first day, with results from 15 out of the 17 local government areas already collated.
On resumption of the electoral process in Rivers State with the collation of results, 15 out of the 17 local government areas have been collated on this first day. The remaining 2 will be collated. For the agent of the People's Democratic Party, the exercise is smooth. He was grateful to security agencies for ensuring a peaceful atmosphere for the conduct, although he had made some complaints about figures in some local government areas and violence that emanated in some local government areas.
Progressed well, and for very obvious reasons, the place has been very peaceful. So for me, we congratulate the security, congratulate INEC. So far, it's been peaceful.
The AAC party agents as well laid complaints about the figures that were generated for some local government areas. Of course, he had assured that his party would take other means to seek redress where they feel dissatisfied with the outcome of the collation exercise.
Even though we had the unction that we were leading, we were winning, but we have come here now to see what is happening, and it appears to be a departure from what we had in mind.
Now, the returning officer for the Rivers State elections has assured that the fate of the other 6 local government areas will be known by the end of the collation exercise. From the INEC State Office in Port Harcourt, on Nigerian Finefest, NTA News.
Meanwhile, the Federal High Court sitting in Abuja has dismissed a suit by the African Alliance Congress seeking to stop the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, from collating results of the governorship elections in Rivers State. Olabode Arewa reports on proceedings from the court.
Justice Ian Gekwo based his judgment on the combined provisions of the 1999 Constitution and the 2010 Electoral Act, which place election and post-election matters squarely within the jurisdiction of election petition tribunals and not the high courts. Governorship candidate of the AAC in Rivers State, Awa Biokpomabu, had approached the court that it should compel INEC to hold fresh elections due to alleged irregularities during the initial elections held on the 9th of March 2019. In a related development, Justice Ekwo has fixed Wednesday to hear the prayers of the Labour Party in the same Rivers State election. The party is also seeking to stop INEC from collating and announcing the election results.
Our view remains that it will not be proper for INEC to continue to take any steps with a matter that is already in court.
There is no hurdles for INEC again, so INEC is free to announce the winner of that election.
Meanwhile, Justice Ekwo has also adjourned hearing till Wednesday on the case of alleged election malpractice filed against the winner of the governorship election in Osun State, Senator Ademola Adeleke, by the police. The adjournment is due to the absence of legal representation by the prosecution team. In Abuja, Olabo Darewa, NTA News.
Still on Ademola Adeleke's candidacy, an Abuja High Court has nullified the nomination of Senator Ademola Adeleke as the candidate of the People's Democratic Party, PDP, in the September 2018 governorship election in Osun State. Justice Othman Musa gave the verdict this Tuesday in Abuja. Justice Musa annulled Senator Adeleke's nomination on the grounds that Adeleke offended Section 177 of the 1999 Constitution as amended. The section stipulated that candidates for the position of governor must be educated up to secondary school level. Senator Adeleke, who represents Osun West Senatorial District at the National Assembly, was the PDP's candidate in the 2018 governorship election in Osun State. To other matters now, the federal government has unveiled the voluntary offshore assets regularization scheme, which seeks to encourage the voluntary declaration of offshore assets and tax due to Nigeria. Minister of Justice and Attorney General of the Federation, Abubakar Malami, SAN, unveiled the scheme in Abuja alongside the Minister of Finance, Zainab Ahmad. Femi Okeowo has the report.
The unveiling of the Voluntary Offshore Assets Regularization Scheme is a practical follow-up step to the signing and official gazetting of the Presidential Executive Order 8, which was instituted in October 2018 as part of the federal government's fight against corruption and recovery of assets due to the nation. Minister of Finance and that of Justice explained the modalities for the scheme.
The introduction of VOR scheme has become an additional opportunity, a new mechanism for Nigerians to continue to fulfill their tax obligations by extending the scope to offshore assets and foreign-sourced income.
It is expected that those funds owned by Nigerians that are not in the system will be voluntarily declared by the owners.
Because the target assets are primarily located outside the shores of Nigeria, the federal government is partnering a Swiss consortium to do a spotting and evaluation of the assets. The consortium is headed by Daniel Zefali, who was Switzerland's Attorney General when General Sani Abacha's asset was first frozen.
The state would recuperate in this, with this scheme, we hope, substantial amount of what has been forgotten to be declared.
Call it an amnesty period for offshore tax assets or part of government's stick and carrot approach in fighting corruption. Experts say it's all part of government's determination to mop up all legitimate assets for the nation's economic development. In Abuja, Femi Okeowo, NTA News.
The Buhari Media Organization, BMO, has congratulated Nigerians for the consolidation of President Muhammadu Buhari's policy direction geared towards a diversified, production-based economy. A statement by the chairman of the organization, Niyi Akinshiju, noted that Nigeria, despite a history of economic and political mismanagement, has seen resurgence with the implementation of President Buhari's monetary and fiscal prudence. The BMO also noted that Nigeria is finally toeing a path taken by developed countries while ensuring food security and increasing productivity. The pro-Buhari group appreciated the Buhari administration for catalyzing the path to a robust, diversified economy. The BMO urged the public to support the administration. For the latest in the world of business, here is Amina Nujain.
Thank you, Mohammed. A look at the equities market revealed that trading on the Nigerian Stock Exchange Tuesday continued the negative trend for the week by depreciating by 0.99%. The OSHA index closed at 30,226.77 basis points, while market capitalization dropped to 11.353 trillion naira. 376 million shares exchanged hands by investors in 4,018 deals, valued at 4.536 billion naira. The financial institutions of FCMB, Sterling Bank and UBA were the most traded stocks. Now to other business developments. The National Insurance Commission, NICOM, has secured approval from the Securities and Exchange Commission, SEC, and Nigerian Stock Exchange for underwriters to submit their 2018 financial accounts by the end of April 2019 against the statutory March deadline. The move was to further ensure that underwriting companies in the nation insurance industry comply with the governing rules of the International Financial Reporting Standards, IFRS 9. The Deputy Commissioner for Insurance Technical, Sanjay Thomas, says NICOM has approached SEC and NSE to extend the submission date to allow insurance companies tidy their accounts in line with the IFRS. And finally, oil prices hit a 2019 high above $69 a barrel on Tuesday on the prospect more sanctions against Iran and further Venezuelan disruptions could deepen an organization of the petroleum exporting countries OPEC-led supply cut. And as market becomes less worried that demand may reduce, officials say the United States is considering more sanctions against Iran, whose oil exports have been halved by existing measures. A key crude terminal in Venezuela, also under U.S. sanctions, has halted operations. Again, Brent crude rose 10 cents to $69 a barrel in the morning, having touched 69.50. Highest since mid-November. U.S. crude was up 11 cents at 61.70 after raising above 62 for the first time since early November. And that is it on the business news. Mohammed, it's back to you.
Thank you, Aisha. Revenue-generating agencies in the Ministry of Information and Culture have been reminded of the need to comply with the mandatory 25% remittance of generated revenue to the federal government. Chairman, Senate Committee on Information and National Orientation, Senator Suleiman Adokwe, stated this during the 2019 budget defense of agencies in the Ministry of Information. John Yaku reports.
The 5 agencies at the budget defense were the NTA, FRCN, NBC, News Agency of Nigeria, and Nigeria Press Council.
The actual money that you have collected as revenue, received and money received is what you are expected to pay 25% of.
And I have not seen any evidence to the effect that the mandatory percentage that is to be paid to the Treasury was actually paid.
In their presentations, the committee observed that there was increase in the personnel cost, which the heads of the agencies explained was to recruit or replace personnel that have either died or retired from service.
There will be promotions and replacements.
We have brand new vehicles that we are not able to give insurance policy.
Sometimes when we say these licenses have been granted, it doesn't follow that the monies are paid immediately.
But we had promotion arrears to pay 2018, and there are also some engagements by the agency which were not factored into the figure for 2018.
Our deep appreciation to the committee for the support and encouragement that we enjoyed over the last couple of years.
Similarly, agencies in the Ministry of Water Resources also appeared for their defense at the Senate Committee on Water Resources. The committee frowned against the non-utilization of budgetary allocations to some agencies when others do not have enough to fund critical projects. More agencies will be appearing at the National Assembly for their budgetary defense. From the National Assembly, John Yaku, NTA News.
The Senate and House of Representatives Joint Committee on Poverty Alleviation have advised the National Social Investment Program as an excellent and effective means of ending poverty in the country. This was when members of the committee paid a visit to the office of the National Social Investment Program in Abuja. They advised states to take advantage of the availability of these programs to provide needed services for the people. State House correspondent Jide Onifade reports.
Special Advisor to the President on Social Investment Programs, Mariam Weiss, briefed the members of the Joint Committee on Poverty Alleviation on the activities of the Office of the National Social Investment Programs, the National Social Safety Net, the Empower Program, and the Government Enterprise and Empowerment Program, and the National Homegrown School Feeding Program are all having great impact on the lives of the people. She says the office is working in conjunction with other stakeholders to ensure every Nigerian is touched.
A lot of the work needs to be done at state, local government, and even community level. So this is what we're trying to do with the roadmap.
This is a program that we all participate in our various states. We know how the poor people, how the masses of the country are benefiting from it and getting happy.
The office is expected to defend its 2019 budget anytime from now, and the management said having more funds to run its programs would lead to greater achievement towards the eradication of poverty in Nigeria. From the presidential villa in Abuja, Jide Onifade, NJ News.
Security agencies advised to collaborate as gun manufacturers get arrested. Details when we return.
I, General Jeremiah Timbot Hussaini, gubernatorial candidate of People's Democratic Party, Plateau State, in the 2019 governorship election, wish to congratulate all PDP governors-elect at the just concluded governorship election in Nigeria. I wish them all the best. Signed, General Jeremiah Timbot Hussaini.
There is one sound we need to silence. So let's silence toothache before it starts with Oral-B all-round protection. Its advanced technology helps prevent both tooth hurts and gum problems that can lead to tooth loss. It strengthens your teeth, giving them all-round protection. Because the only sound we really want to hear is that of our future. For healthier, stronger teeth in 1 week.
These days, people get their news and information from more media sources than ever before. Some of the news and information given are fake, unverified, doctored, and manufactured to create confusion, stir disaffection, and cause disunity. Before you believe or share any news, ask yourself, is this real? Is it from a credible source? Is it verified or verifiable? Fake news is dangerous, whether you do it for fun or for political gains. Real people can get hurt. Fake news, don't create it, don't spread it.
This is a public service announcement from NTA.
Welcome back. Wife of the President, Aisha Muhammadu Buhari, has emphasized the need for Nigerians to cooperate with law enforcement agencies in the discharge of the responsibility of safeguarding the nation's security. Mrs. Buhari stated this at a book presentation titled Nigeria's Defense and Security, the Role of Military Families. State House correspondent Aliu Kabir reports that the event is part of the 2019 Dipoa Week in Abuja.
The book presentation is part of a week-long activity to mark the annual event of the Defense and Police Officers' Wives Association, tagged Dipoa 2019, with the theme Building the Nation. The program was the presentation of 219-page book consisting of 14 chapters entitled Nigeria's Defense and Security, the Role of Military Families, a consortium of the Dipoa family meant to honor the current president and the wife of the Chief of Defense Staff, Omobolanle Olonishakin, for a contribution to the development of the association towards promoting a better life for military families, while acknowledging their roles as spouses of the security personnel and mothers for touching the lives of vulnerable people, particularly widows and children, as well as other less privileged within the barracks community. The wife of the president called on the power to incorporate more public enlightenment campaign on the importance of proper upbringing of children for a better society.
It is
the responsibility of all of us women to fast-track our activities with the constituents of our family units. As women, we remain pivots and motivators that must continue to moderate and bond of unity and affection of our various families.
Mrs. Buhari also underscores the importance of information sharing in promoting the security of the nation.
It is important for us to ensure that we all collaborate with security agencies in their responsibilities of safeguarding our nation in order to anticipate and prevent crises in our communities. As we are all aware, information is vital to peaceful coexistence. All criminals are members of our society, and they live in our midst.
Let me assure everyone here that all of the proceeds from this book presentation will go into charity, especially for widows.
Aliu Kabir, NTA News.
Still on security, international resolutions and treaties on border control are major barriers that hinder the war against drug abuse in Nigeria, as identified by the Presidential Advisory Committee on Elimination of Drug Abuse. Correspondent Abdul Malik Hassan reports from Katsina.
To curtail the menace of drug abuse from the source, Presidential Advisory Committee on Elimination of Drug Abuse, under the leadership of Brigadier General Buba Marwa, visited Congoland border of Nigeria and Niger Republic in my Adwa local government and some other strategic places in Katsina State.
Even Nigerians who are complicit in this drug trade jump over the border to safety with their goods.
On a visit to Katsina State Reformatory Center and Malam Bello Islamic Reformatory School in Daura, the committee chairman commended Katsina State government for the establishment of reformatory centers in the state and also commended the religious organizations on the role in fighting drug abuse and other criminal offenses. On a stakeholders meeting in Daura, the committee was able to file inputs from parents on how to tackle child and women drug abuse. In Katsina, Abdul Malik Hassan, NTA.
The Air Task Force of Operation Lafia Dole has significantly degraded terrorists of the Islamic State of West Africa Province, ISWAP, hideout and neutralized some of its leaders and fighters at Magari on the fringes of the Lake Chad in the northern part of Borno State. A statement by the Director of Public Relations and Information, Nigerian Air Force, Air Commodore Ibikunle Daramola, says this was accomplished in an air interdiction mission conducted on the 1st of April 2019, following credible intelligence reports indicating that some senior ISWAP leaders arrived at the settlement on Friday, 30th of March 2019, along with some of their fighters. Accordingly, 2 Nigerian Air Force Alpha Jets aircraft supported by an ISR platform were dispatched to attack the identified compounds within the settlement. The bombs from the 2 Alpha Jets recorded direct hits on the target compounds, resulting in the destruction of several structures, which were seen engulfed in flames. Several of the terrorists were also neutralized in the process. Still on security, reports of threat to lives and property in Zamfara and environs have persistently occupied headlines in major media across the country. To address these lingering security challenges, the Nigerian Army has commenced a joint military exercise codenamed Harbin Kunama 3. Defense correspondent Ismail Musa reports that the Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Tukur Buratai, was represented at the event in Gusau, Zamfara State.
Zamfara State in northwest Nigeria is the 7th largest in terms of land size. The vast area with a dominance surrounding agrarian communities have been trending not for their known potentials in grains and onion fields, but for destruction to lives and property by criminal elements. Bandits, kidnappers and cattle rustlers have altered peace and development in the zone by killing and displacing thousands of people. Exercise Harbin Kunama 3, a joint security operation, is aimed at addressing these multidimensional security threats that has dislocated socioeconomic activities in parts of Katsina, Sokoto, and Zamfara states.
The exercise is designed to decisively eliminate all forms of banditry activities with a view to ensuring lasting peace in the affected areas.
In the heat of banditry in Zamfara in 2016, President Muhammadu Buhari personally inaugurated Exercise Harbin Kunama 1 to flush out bandits.
We thank God and we appreciate the timely response of President and the Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces and the Nigerian Army.
What is the difference between Exercise Harbin Kunama and Exercise Sharandaji?
If, by analogy, we've been operating on the 50-60% hybrid issue, with the coming of Harbin Kunama 3, with all the resources, both men and material, all put together, we shall be operating at 110%.
With Zamfara state bordering the Niger Republic, the area is also prone to movement of small and light weapons and other transborder crime. From Gusau, the Zamfara state capital, Ismail Musa, NTA News.
The joint military outfit for Benue and Taraba and Nasarawa states, Operation Whale Stroke, says investigations are ongoing to determine if the two suspects arrested for manufacturing of assault weapons in Ukum local government area of Benue State have other accomplices. The arrested men were paraded by the commander of the outfit, Major General Adeyemi Yekini, at its headquarters in Makudi. Achigili Magaji reports.
The weapons which they specialize in include 12-round pistol, automatic rifles, and AK-47. The leader, who is an electrical engineer, said he learnt the skills from Mauritania and that they sell between 100,000 and 400,000 naira to customers from various places. The commander of Operation Whale Stroke, Major General Adeyemi Yekini, said the two locations where the operations were carried out are in Tinune, in Ukun local government area, following intelligence gathering over a period of 5 weeks.
On getting the information, we tasked Operation Whale Stroke Intelligence Cell to work on the information. So after about 4 weeks of surveillance, we are able to positively identify these people.
Investigations are still on to apprehend their accomplices. In Makudi, Achigili Magaji, NTA News.
The police and other security agencies are reinforcing their presence on the major highways leading in and out of Kaduna. This was the resolution of the Kaduna State Security Council following its review of the situation on the Kaduna-Abuja and Kaduna-Birnangwari highways. The State Security Council appealed for calm, assuring travelers plying the roads of robust security patrols. The Security Council released the following helplines for citizens to contact security agencies in the event of any threat to lives and property on the highways. 0903 400 0060 and 0817 018 9999. The police team suspected to have been involved in the shooting of Kolade Johnson is now in the custody of the Lagos Police Command. A statement by the Commissioner of Police, Lagos Command, Zubairu Muazu, indicates that a team of officers from the Rapid Response Squads and Metro Patrol were promptly drafted to the scene when the command received a distress call that some aggrieved youths were protesting the shooting of Kolade Johnson by a team of policemen from anti-cultism unit. The Commissioner of Police said eyewitnesses have assisted in the arrest of suspects who fled the scene immediately after the incident and are currently in police custody, undergoing interrogation. He said the suspects will be subjected to internal disciplinary procedures and may be prosecuted in conventional courts if implicated. Commissioner of Police Zubairu Muazu calls for calm, assuring that justice will prevail in this case. He condoles with the family, friends, and well-wishers of the victims and promised to initiate far-reaching reforms to help in repositioning the anti-cultism squad for effective service delivery, particularly in areas of respect for human rights and proficiency in the use of firearms. President Muhammadu Buhari greets former Ogun State Governor and Chief of General Staff, Lieutenant General Oladipo Dia, on his 75th birthday. A statement by the Special Advisor to the President on Media and Publicity, Femi Adesina, says the President affirms that General Dia's gallantry, rich intellectual background, and penchant for research contributed to the structure and operations of the Nigerian Army, especially in tackling security challenges within the country and the West Coast region. As the former CJS turns 75, President Buhari believes that the nation has benefited from his wealth of knowledge, wisdom, and experience, urging him to stay relevant by providing counsels to military formations and officers. The President prays that Almighty God will grant General Dia long life, good health, and continuous blessing and his family. Let's join Michael in Lagos with more news from our Lagos Network Center. Hello, Michael.
Okudu and welcome to Lagos. In continuation of the European Union International Organization for Migration Joint Initiative, fresh batch of 180 Nigerian returnees have arrived the country. Mohammed Abdulkadir captured their arrival at the cargo wing of the Murtala Mohammed International Airport, Lagos, and now reports.
These fortunate Nigerian returnees left the shores of the country individually and unannounced, but due to failed fait accompli that joined them together in search of the Golden Fleet in foreign country, they are back to the country collectively and announced.
We have a total of 180 returnees comprising of 95 female and 85 male. And there are children, there are infants amongst them.
It is an understatement to say that they are happy to come back home after their dehumanizing experience. 25-year-old Adetutu Anyafeoluwa's sad experience typified the regret by our colleagues in the hands of their tormentors.
Even if I did not have anything, if my mother is drinking garri, let me come house to come and be drinking garri and stay in those kind of states. It's not easy.
Returnees pass through elaborate electronic and manual profiling in a well-coordinated arrangement by inter-agents collaboration.
Commission under the leadership of the Honorable Federal Commissioner, Hajia Sadia Umar Farouk, has recently organized a skill acquisition training for returning migrants from Libya.
The returnees were reintegrated into the Nigerian hospitality with food and water served and free mobile phones and lines distributed to them. Certainly, opportunities abound in this country for the lucky returnees to pick up the bits and pieces of their life to make it here in their own country. From the cargo wing of the Murtala Mohammed International Airport, Lagos, Muhammad Abdulkadir, NTA News.
The Nigerian Ports Authority Simulation Center for Capacity Building of Maritime Professionals, particularly pilots and marine officials, has been inaugurated. Minister of Transportation Rotimi Amechi at the commission in Lagos said the facility will help reduce expenditure on foreign exchange for training staff abroad. Paulo Mukago has details.
The Simulation Center is one of many developments towards repositioning and making Nigerian ports more competitive and investment-friendly. Minister of Transportation Rotimi Amechi, while commending the management of NPA for the initiative, said the facility will serve a useful purpose for port operators and other professionals in the maritime sector. He urged federal agencies to collaborate with each other towards attaining common goals.
What makes a port more competitive is when it's efficient. You move in your goods, you take it out in 24 hours. You make it more competitive than the man who keeps goods for 40 days. You get the point. Now, when you compare the Nigerian economy with that of the other areas, you have to look at the factors that engages production. If those factors are cheaper in those countries, then the cost of goods in those countries will be cheaper than the cost of goods here.
Managing Director, Nigerian Ports Authority, Adiza Bala Usman, says the center as a critical success factor in actualizing NPA's strategic intent of becoming the #1 leader in port services in Africa.
The facility is for all the Nigerian waterways, not just for the Lagos ports. Every type of channel could be simulated here. So we also intend to attract pilots from the West African coast to come and be trained here using charts from their location and necessary, as it were, to input and train.
And this is a good place for them to make mistakes. It's a good place for them to,
rub minds together.
The state-of-the-art facilities at the Center for the Training and Capacity Building of Staff is expected to impact on its operations in line with government policy of ease of doing business. In Lagos, Paul Omukagu, NTA News.
This is still NTA Network News. More reports with Kudu after the commercial break. Please stay tuned.
You can follow us on all our social media platforms: Facebook at NTA Network News, Instagram at NTA Network, Twitter at NTA News Now, YouTube at NTA News Online, or visit www.nta.ng. For live streaming, visit www.nta.ng/live. Now, you can stay updated on the go, be it on your TV, iPhone, laptop, or iPad, or download the NTA mobile application from your Play Store or App Store. NTA, you can beat the rich.
Welcome back. The Senate has adjourned plenary till the 9th of April 2019 to enable all standing committees submit their reports on the 2019 appropriation bill. National Assembly correspondent Kenneth Nanim reports that the Senate is considering the Tuesday 16th of April 2019 for the passage of the 2019 appropriation bill.
Senate President Bukola Saraki read out 10 executive communications from President Muhammadu Buhari, especially on the reasons he declined assent to 8 bills passed by the National Assembly. In line with the Public Procurement Act, President Buhari requested details of the approval of 90.236 billion naira as against 78.601 billion naira approved by the Federal Executive Council for the issuance of promissory note for reimbursement of Taraba and Delta states for projects executed on behalf of the federal government. Also was a request for the confirmation and renewal of appointment of the Executive Director, Corporate Services, Nigeria Deposit Insurance Corporation, Omolola Abiola Edewo.
Meanwhile, the federal government shall proceed with implementation by reimbursing the amounts approved by the Federal Executive Council. Furthermore, I wish to suggest that you review the reimbursements earlier submitted in favor of Bauchi and Kogi state governments.
The Senate had on the 20th of March 2019 adjourned plenary till the 2nd of April to allow various committees interface with the ministries, departments and agencies on budget defense. Explanations from the Vice Chairman Senate Committee on Appropriations, Sonny Obuochi, indicates that the committees may require more time.
We have less than 10 committees that have submitted their reports. We actually requested that they should submit the reports by last week. But since we don't have it, we're extending it to Friday this week, latest.
We reconvene on the 9th on that, and between the 9th and the 11th, the appropriation must lay their report, and we look to passing by the 16th of April.
The adjournment was also to honor one of their colleagues in the House of Representatives, Mohammed Dantani from Kebbi State, who passed away last week. From the National Assembly, Kenneth Nanim, NTA News.
President of the Pan-African Parliament, Roger Nkondo Dang, has called for closer collaboration and reconciliation among Africans for the progress and development of the continent. This was at Tuesday's plenary of the House of Representatives, where the House held a special session to honor late Bethel Amadi, a former member of the House of Representatives and one-time president of the Pan-African Parliament, which is an arm of the African Union. National Assembly correspondent Laimi Ali has the report.
The session witnessed the presence of other colleagues of the late lawmaker, among them serving senators, as well as Governor Aminu Tambuwal and Governor-elect Emeka Ihedioha.
Lead Pan-African Parliament is very difficult. It's 55th country. That means 55 nationality and many political parties.
Our path, myself and Honorable Bethel, crossed on this floor.
What is uppermost is not how long you live in life, but it is how effective.
Speaker Yakubu Dogara also brought to the notice of members the death of Muhammad Dantani, member representing Yauri in Ngaski Federal Constituency in Kebbi, who died on 28 March 2019. In the meantime, plenary has been adjourned to Tuesday, 9th April 2019. From the National Assembly, Lami Ali, NTA News.
Nigerians have again been urged to be good ambassadors of the country, wherever they may find themselves around the world. This is coming on the heels of reports of the execution of a Nigerian woman in Saudi Arabia and others charged with drug-related offenses and armed robbery in some other countries.
These 5 Nigerians who allegedly committed this offense are a disgrace to this country and is an embarrassment. So if UAE decides to be hard on Nigerians, we're going to say they've been hard on us. But we continue to say that one bad apple should not spoil the whole bunch. Nigerians are hardworking, intelligent, Nigerians all over the world. So this few should not spoil the whole bunch because this has made waves all over the UAE now. So again, these are the five people. We're going to continue to name those who disgrace the country anywhere in the world, and we appeal to Nigerians to continue to be good ambassadors of this country wherever they find themselves.
A center to train personnel on substance abuse inaugurated. Caleb in Jos is our guide.
Thank you, Mohammed, and welcome to Jos. The peace witnessed in Plateau State during and after the elections has been attributed largely to the positive roles played by traditional rulers in instituting the culture of peace among their subjects. Governor Simon Lalong stated this while receiving on a solidarity visit the Plateau State Traditional Council of Chiefs and Emirs in his office. Priscilla Grumnan reports that the delegation was led by the chairman and Bongom Jos, Dad Jacob Gyang Buba.
Chairman of the State Traditional Council of Chiefs and Emirs, Dad Jacob Gyang Buba, said the visit was to felicitate with the governor on his re-election and also wish him well as he pilots affairs of the state in the next dispensation.
As usual, we are available to advise and to for whatever purpose the government may want to use us for. We pledge our loyalty. We definitely go with government in all aspects of things.
While thanking the traditional rulers for the visit, the governor commended the role played by them in preaching peace at their domains.
The Traditional Council did their best. We all signed the peace accord, and we worked diligently to achieve the peace accord.
Also in audience with the governor is delegation of the Dialogue, Reconciliation and Peace Center Jos in company of foreign partners of Catholic Agency for Overseas Development and Islamic Relief Worldwide. The governor assured the delegation that he will continue to support and promote programs that will bring sustainable peace to the state. In Jos, Priscilla Grumnan, NTA News.
The United Nations Office on Drugs and Crime is partnering with the Jos University Teaching Hospital in the training of personnel on issues of substance abuse. To this end, the UN office established its North Central Training Center in Jos. Zenret Dumun reports.
The Jos University Teaching Hospital has been named the North Central Center for Training on Issues of Substance Abuse by the United Nations Office on Drugs and Crime. It is for this reason that this training was organized by the Psychiatry Department of the hospital to train relevant stakeholders to be certified addiction counselors, which will help in managing the menace of substance abuse.
I urge the state government to take this challenge, to collaborate with youth, to ensure that we cascade this training down to the local government areas.
At the ministry level, we have a committee in place that is called the Drug Abuse Campaign Committee. The idea is to begin to prepare campaign activities that will continue to sensitize our people against this menace.
In the meantime, the closing ceremony of the seminar on musculoskeletal disorders was held with a call on the working force to pay more attention to their health and nutritional habits, especially at work, to avoid the occurrence of common injuries sustained while at work. In Jos, Zenred Dingmun, NTA News.
That's it from Jos. Let's take you back to Mohammed in Abuja.
Thank you, Caleb. Imagine having unlimited internet access in public spaces. Well, that's a possibility the Ministry of Communications and other key stakeholders are currently exploring, with the hope to develop Nigeria's economy and bridge the gap of internet accessibility. Joseph Johnson reports from the workshop tagged "The Role of Public Internet Access for Economic Development."
Access to the internet in Nigeria has been characterized by exorbitant cost, low broadband penetration, and poor infrastructure, as well as poor enabling environment. Finding solutions to these challenges informed this workshop, where a major global search engine and the Ministry of Communications, as well as other partners, are discussing how to make progress in the ICT sector, provision and usage of public internet specifically.
I can assure you that the Federal Ministry of Communications would ensure that the privacy of beneficiaries of free internet are protected.
We as Google are committed to addressing the access gaps in country.
What this translates to is more jobs for Nigerians and, of course, more people using the internet to improve themselves and their businesses. But one issue hanging in the balance is tackling internet insecurity, which has over the years raised serious concerns. Joseph Johnson, NTA News.
Enugu Network Center is next with Chineye. Hello, Chineye.
Hello, Kudu. Good evening and welcome to Enugu. The 26-kilometer Nenwe-Oduma-Uburu Road project, connecting some agrarian communities in Enugu and Ebonyi states, has been completed by the federal government. Jude Abugu visited the project sites and now reports.
This is the newly completed Ike Bridge in Nenwe Anere local government area of Enugu State. It is part of the federal government road construction project in this part of the state. This road project was initiated in 2013 to alleviate the sufferings of the inhabitants of Nenwe and Oduma in Enugu State, as well as Uburu in Ebonyi State. These agrarian communities and their visitors before now could not access their communities with vehicles during the rainy season.
Before our people will return home, people begin to think the way that they should go through machine, Okada. They will drop you at Nenwe, then you enter Okada. Sometimes if you run, you enter the mold.
After about 5 years of construction activities, one can now take a trip to Oduma in less than 30 minutes from Enugu town. However, members of the community said getting the road to its present state did not come that easy due to the swampy nature of the area.
The road is fine now than before, because before rainy season, there is no any machine or motor can enter this village. But now, trailer, all the motors are enter this village.
Children have suffered a lot for decades, for years, since we find ourselves in this tenarium. So it's a problem that we have suffered, but today is a thing of joy.
As at the time NTA crew visited the area, minor construction activities and stone pitching were going on between Ike River Bridge of the road. From Oduma, Aniri local government area of Enugu State, Jude Abugu, NTA News.
The long-abandoned Enugu State Games Village in Ogu local government area of the state is soon to be revamped for public use and economic benefits. Governor Ifeanyi Ugwuanyi gave the indication when he paid an unscheduled visit to the facility for a first-hand assessment of the situation. Susan Eze reports.
Located in the serene environment of the undulating hills and valleys of Ogu, the headquarters of Ogu local government, the Enugu State Games Village, though long abandoned, still possesses the trappings of a viable tourist site. Established in the 80s as a life camp by the company that constructed the Enugu-Port Harcourt Expressway, the facility handed down to the old Anambra State government has been put to various use, including as a camp for the Rangers International Football Club before it gradually became moribund. Taking a tour of the facility, Governor Ugwuanyi inspected the level of dilapidation, stating that his administration is determined to revive the place. The governor expressed confidence that when put to adequate use, the facility has in stock so much socio-economic benefits derivable from it for the overall benefit of the state. In Enugu, Susan Eze, NTA News.
And that's it from Enugu. It's back to Kudu in Abuja for more on the network news. Good evening.
Thank you, Chineye. The Board of the Civil Defense, Fire, Immigration and Prison Services has approved the promotion of 12 commandants, 21 comptrollers and 18 comptrollers to the rank of Assistant Comptroller Generals. Minister of Interior Abdurrahman Bello Dambazo, who gave the approval at the board's meeting, advised the newly promoted Assistant Comptrollers General to see their elevation as a reward for their hard work, discipline and dedication to service. Dambazo also advised them to redouble their dedication to service, exhibit unalloyed loyalty to the country, and contribute meaningfully to her advancement through the fight against corruption and insecurity. Still to come is sports after this break. For a report on the Senegalese President Macky Sall's inauguration and other stories trending outside Nigeria, here is Adebola Brookslyn Sunday.
Venezuela's Supreme Court has asked for opposition leader to be stripped of his parliamentary immunity. The pro-government Constituent Assembly is expected to back the request, a move that could lead him to facing jail time. The opposition leader declared himself interim head in January, gaining the support of more than 50 countries, including the US. But President Nicolas Maduro has major allies too and retained the crucial backing of the military. Amid a power struggle between the two, Venezuela has seen growing street protests. The authorities have said they will shorten the working day and keep schools closed due to power cuts. In another development, the National Aeronautics and Space Administration, NASA, has described India's destruction of a satellite a terrible thing. The space agency's chief said the risk of debris colliding with the International Space Station had risen by 44% over 10 days due to the tests. India is the fourth country to have carried out such tests.
Vice President Yemi Osinbajo commissions a swimming pool at the University of Lagos in readiness for the Nigerian Universities Games, NUGA, as Nigeria Football Federation honors players and stakeholders in Lagos. Olumide Eguntola has details on our sports update.